One of those no-neck monsters hit me with a hot butter biscuit, so I have to change.
Margaret's voice is both rapid and drawling. In her long speeches, she has the vocal tics of a priest delivering a liturgical chant. The lines are almost sung, always continuing a little beyond her breath, so she has to gasp for another. Sometimes she intersperses the lines with a little wordless singing, such as a da da da. Water turns off and Brick calls out to her, but is still unseen. A tone of politely feigned interest, masking indifference or worse, is characteristic of his speech with Margaret.
What'd you say, Maggie? Why was on so loud I couldn't hear you?
Well, I just remarked that one of the no-neck monsters messed up my lovely lace dress, so I got to change.
Why'd you call Gooper's kitties no-neck monsters?
Because they've got no necks. Isn't that a good enough reason?
Don't they have any necks?
Non-visible. Their fat little heads are set on their fat little bodies without a bit of connection.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, it's too bad because you can't wring their necks if they've got no necks to wring. Isn't that right, honey? Yep, they're no-neck monsters. Monsters. All no-neck people are monsters. Hear them? Hear them screaming? I don't know where their voice boxes are located since they don't have necks. I tell you, I got so nervous at that table tonight, I thought I would throw back my head and utter a scream you could hear across the Arkansas border in parts of Louisiana and Tennessee. I said to your charming sister-in-law, May, honey, couldn't you feed these precious little things at a separate table with an oilcloth cover? They make such a mess and the lace cloth looks so pretty. She made enormous eyes at me and said, Oh no, on Big Daddy's birthday. Why, he would never forgive me. Well, I want you to know, Big Daddy hadn't been at the table 2 minutes with those five no-neck monsters slobbering and drooling over their food before he threw down his fork and shouted, For God's sake, Gooper, why don't you put them pigs at a trough in the kitchen? Well, I swear I simply could have died. Think of it, Brick. They've got five of them, and number six is coming. They've brought the whole bunch down here like animals to display at country fair. Why, they have those children doing tricks all the time. Junior, show Big Daddy how you do this. Show Big Daddy how you do that. Say your little piece for Big Daddy, sister. Show your dimples, sugar. Brother, show Big Daddy how you stand on your head. It goes on all the time, along with constant little remarks and innuendos about the fact that you and I have not produced any children, are totally childless, and therefore totally useless. Of course, it's comical, but it's also disgusting since it's so obvious what they're up to.
What are they up to, Maggie?
Why, you know what they're up to.
No, I don't know what they're up to.
He stands there in the bathroom doorway, drying his hair with a towel and hanging on to the towel rack because one ankle's broken, plastered and bound. He is still slim and firm as a boy. His liquor hasn't started tearing him down inside. He has the additional charm of that cool air of detachment that people have who have given up the struggle. But now and then, when disturbed, something flashes behind it like lightning in a fair sky, which shows that at some deeper level he is far from peaceful. Oh, by the way, context for playing Brick. Brick is gay, but he's also super manly, masculine.
Got you.
This is essential to his character. Perhaps in a stronger light, he would show. Oh, and he's an alcoholic. That's important too. Perhaps in a stronger light, he would show some signs of, I don't know, this deliquescence, but the fading still.
Deliquescence.
I'll have to look that one up. The fading still warm light from the gallery treats him gently.
I'll tell you what they're up to, boy mine. They're up to cutting you out of your father's estate and... Now we know that Big Daddy's dying of cancer.
Their voices on the lawn below, long-drawn calls across the distance. I guess I'll read the longer ones. Margaret raises her lovely bare arms and powders her armpits with a quiet sigh. She adjusts the angle of a magnifying mirror to straighten an eyelash and rises fretfully, saying,
There's so much light in the room.
Do we?
Do we what?
No, Big Daddy's dying of cancer.
Got the report today.
Oh.
Yep, got the report just now. Didn't surprise me, baby. I recognize the soons we got here last spring, and I'm willing to bet you that brother man and his wife were pretty sure of it too. That more than likely explains why the usual summer migration to the coolness of the Great Smokies was passed up this summer, in favor of hustling down here every whip stitch with their whole screaming tribe. And why so many allusions have been made to Rainbow Hill lately. You know what Rainbow Hill is? A place that's famous for treating alcoholics and dope fiends in the movies.
I'm not in the movies.
No, and you don't take dope. Otherwise, you're a perfect candidate for Rainbow Hill, baby. And that's where they ship you. Over my dead body. Yep, over my dead body they'll ship you there, but nothing will please them better. Then brother man could get a hold of the purse strings and dole out remittances to us, maybe get power of attorney and sign checks for us and cut off our credit whenever he wanted. Son of a bitch! How'd you like that, baby? Well, you've been doing just about everything in your power to bring it about. You've just been doing everything you can think of to aid and abet them in the scheme of theirs. Quitting work, devoting yourself to the occupation of drinking, breaking your ankle last night on the high school athletic field doing what? Jumping hurdles at 2 or 3 in the morning? Just fantastic. Got in the paper. Clarksdale Register carried a nice little item about it. Human interest story about a well-known former athlete staging a one-man track meet on the Glorious Hill High School athletic field last night, but was slightly out of condition and didn't clear the first hurdle. Brother Mangupa says he exercised his influence to keep it from going out over AP or UP or every goddamn P. But Brick used to have one big advantage.
Did you say something, Maggie?
Big Daddy dotes on you, honey. And he can't stand Brother Man and Brother Man's wife, that monster fertility May. She's downright odious to him. Know how I know? By the little expressions that flicker over his face when that woman is holding forth on one of her choice topics, such as how she refused twilight sleep when the twins were delivered, because she feels motherhood's an experience that a woman ought to experience fully in order to fully appreciate the wonder and beauty of it. Ha! And how she made Brother Man come in and stand beside her in the delivery room so he would not miss out on the wonder and beauty of it either, producing those no-neck monsters. Big Daddy shares my attitude towards those two. As for me, well, I give him a laugh now and then he tolerates me. In fact, I also sometimes suspect that Big Daddy harbors a little unconscious lech for me.
What makes you think that Big Daddy is a lech for you, Maggie?
Way he always drops his eyes down my body when I'm talking to him. Drops his eyes to my boobs and licks his little chops.
Oh, that kind of talk is disgusting.
Did anyone ever tell you that you're an aching ass Puritan, Brick? I think it's mighty fine that old fellow on the doorstep of death still takes in my shape with what I think is deserved appreciation. And you want to know something else? Big Daddy didn't know how many little Mays and Goopas had been produced. How many kids have you got? He asked at the table, just like Brother Man and his wife were new acquaintances to him. Big Mama said he was joking, but that old boy wasn't joking, Lord no. And when they informed him that they had 5 already, and would turn out number 6, the news seemed to come as a sort of unpleasant surprise. Scream, monsters! Yes, you should have been at that supper table, baby. You know, Big Daddy, bless his little sweet soul, he's the dearest thing in the world, but he does hunch over his food as if he preferred not to notice anything else. Well, May and Goopo were side by side at the table, directly across from Big Daddy, watching his face like hawks while they jawed and jabbered about the cuteness and brilliance of the no-neck monsters. And the no-neck monsters were arranged around the table, some in high chairs and some on the books of knowledge, all in fancy little paper caps, in honor of Big Daddy's birthday. And all through dinner, well, I want you to know that Brother Man and his partner never once, for one moment, stopped exchanging pokes and pinches and kicks and signs and signals while they were a couple of card-sharp sleuths and a sucker. Even Big Mom, bless her old sweet soul, she isn't the quickest and brightest thing in the world. She finally noticed at last and said to Koopa, Koopa, what are you and May making all those signs at each other about? I swear to goodness, I nearly choked on my chicken. You know, when your brother Koopa still cherishes his illusion, he took a giant step up on the social ladder when he married Miss May Flynn of the Memphis Flynns. But I have a piece of Spanish news for Koopa. The Flynns never had a thing in this world but money, and they lost that. They were nothing at all but fairly successful climbers. Of course, May Flynn came out in Memphis 8 years before I made my debut in Nashville. But I had friends at Ward Bedmont who came from Memphis, and they used to come see me, and I used to go see them for Christmas and spring vacations. And so I know who rates and who doesn't rate in Memphis society. Well, old Papa Flynn, he barely escaped doing time in the federal pen for shady manipulations on the stock market when his chicken stores crashed. And as for May, having been a cotton carnival queen, as they remind us so often, lest we forget, well, that's one honor that I don't envy her for. Sit on a vast throne, on a tacky float, and ride down Main Street, smiling and bowing, blowing kisses to all the trash on the street. Why, year before last, when Susan McFeeters was singled out for that honor, you know what happened to her? You know what happened to poor little Susie McFeeters? Mm-hmm.
No, what happened to little Susie McFeeters?
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face?
That's right, some old drunk leaned out the window in the hotel Gayoso and yelled, "Hey, Queen, hey there, Queenie." Poor Susie looked up and flashed him a radiant smile, and he shot out a squirt of tobacco juice right in poor Susie's face.
Well, what you know about that?
What do I know about it? I was there, I saw it.
Must have been kind of funny, I guess.
Susie didn't think so, had hysterics, screamed like a banshee. They had to stop the parade and remove her from her throne and go on with... Why are you looking at me like that?
Like what, Maggie?
The way you were looking at me just now before I caught you on the mill and you started to whistle. I don't know how to describe it, but it froze my blood. I've caught you looking at me like that so often lately. What are you thinking of me when you look at me like that?
I wasn't conscious of looking at you, Maggie.
Well, I was conscious of it. What were you thinking?
I don't remember thinking of anything, Maggie.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know that?
Know what, Maggie?
But I've gone through this hideous transformation, become hard, frantic, cruel. That's what you've been observing in me lately. How could you help but observe it? That's all right. I'm not thin-skinned anymore. Can't afford to be thin-skinned anymore. But Brick.
Did you say something?
I was going to say something that I get lonely. Very.
Everybody gets that.
Living with someone you love can be lonelier than living entirely alone if the one that you love doesn't love you.
Would you like to live alone, Maggie?
No, God, I wouldn't. I'm. Did you have a nice shower?
Uh-huh.
Was the water cool?
No.
But it made you feel fresh, huh?
Fresher.
I know something would make you feel much fresher.
What?
An alcohol rub. Or cologne. A rub with cologne.
That's good after a workout, but I haven't been working out, Maggie.
You've kept in good shape, though.
You think so, Maggie?
I always thought drinking men lost their looks, but I was plainly mistaken.
Why, thanks, Maggie.
You're the only drinking man I know that it never seems to put fat on.
Well, I'm getting softer, Maggie.
Well, sooner or later it's bound to soften you up. It was just beginning to soften up Skipper when... And sorry, I never could keep my fingers off her sore. I wish you would lose your looks. If you did, it would make the martyrdom of Saint Maggie a little more bearable. But no such goddamn luck. I actually believe you've gotten better looking since you've gone on the bottle. Yeah, a person who didn't know you would think you've never have had a tense nerve in your body or a strained muscle. Of course, you always had that detached quality, as if you were playing a game without much concern over whether you won or lost. And now that you've lost the game, not lost but just quit playing, you have that rare set of charms that only happens in very old or hopelessly sick people, the charm of the defeated. You look so cool, so cool, so enviably cool. They're playing croquet. The moon has appeared and it's white. It's just beginning to turn a little bit yellow. You are the wonderful lover. Such a wonderful person to go to bed with, and I think mostly because you are really indifferent to it. Isn't that right? Never had any anxiety about it. Did it naturally, easily, slowly, with absolute confidence and perfect calm. More like opening a door for a lady or sitting at a table than giving expression to any longing for her. Your indifference made you wonderful at love-making, strange but true. You know, if I thought you would never, never, never make love to me again, I would go downstairs to the kitchen, pick out the longest and sharpest knife I could find and stick it straight into my heart. I swear I would. But one thing I have, and don't have, is the charm of defeated. My hat is still in the ring, and I'm determined to win. What is the victory of a cat on a hot tin roof? I wish I knew. Just staying on it, I guess, as long as you can. Later tonight, I'm gonna tell you I love you, and maybe by that time, you'll be drunk enough to believe me. Yes, they're playing croquet. Big Daddy's dying of cancer. What were you thinking of when I caught you looking at me like that? Were you thinking of Skipper?
Skipper
Oh,
was
excuse me.
but he died. That's the context that's informed the acting.
Yeah, kind of figured. Oh, excuse me, forgive me, but laws of sounds don't work. No, laws of sounds don't work. Laws of sounds don't work. when something's festering in your memory or your imagination allows a silence to like it's just like shutting a door and locking it down a house on fire in hope of forgetting that the house is burning. But not facing a fire doesn't put it out. Silence is a bad thing, just magnifies it. It grows and festers in silence, becomes malignant. Get dressed, Rick.
I've dropped my crutch.
No one does passive aggressive like Southerners.
Lean on me.
No, just give me my crutch.
Lean on my shoulder.
I don't want to lean on your shoulder. I want my crutch! Are you going to give me my crutch, or do I have to get down on my knees on the floor and...
Here, take it. Take it.
Thanks.
We mustn't scream at each other. The walls in this house have ears. But that's the first time I've heard you raise your voice in a long time, Brick. A crack in the wall of composure. I think that's a good sign. A sign of nerves and a play on the defensive.
It just hasn't happened yet, Maggie.
What?
The click I get in my head when I've had enough of this stuff to make me peaceful. Will you do me a favor?
Maybe I will. What favor?
Just keep your voice down.
I'll do you that favor. I'll speak in a whisper, if not shut up completely, if you'll do me a favor and make that drink your last one till after the party.
Oh, what party?
Big Daddy's birthday party.
Wait, is this Big Daddy's birthday?
You know this is Big Daddy's birthday.
No, I don't. I forgot it.
Well, I remembered it for you.
They're both speaking as breathlessly as a pair of kids after a fight, drawing deep, exhausted breaths and looking at each other with faraway eyes, shaking and panting together as if they had broken apart from a violent struggle.
Good for you, Maggie.
You just have to scribble a few lines on this card.
You scribble something, Maggie.
It's got to be your handwriting. It's your present. I've given him my present. It's got to be your handwriting.
I didn't get him a present.
I got one for you.
All right, you write the card then.
And have him know you didn't remember his birthday?
I didn't remember his birthday.
You don't have to prove you didn't.
I don't want to fool him about it.
Just write love Brick, for God's sake.
No.
You've got to.
I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. You keep forgetting the conditions on which I agreed to stay on living with you.
I'm not living with you. We occupy the same cage.
You've got to remember the conditions agreed on.
They're impossible conditions.
Then why don't you...
Hush! Who's out there? Somebody at the door?
May I enter a moment?
Oh, you. Sure. Come in, May.
Brick, is this thing yours?
Why, sister woman, that's my Diana trophy. Won at the intercollegiate archery contest on the Old Miss campus.
It's a mighty dangerous thing to leave exposed round a house full of normal, red-blooded children attracted weapons.
Normal, red-blooded children attracted to weapons ought to be taught to keep their hands off things that don't belong to them.
Maggie, honey, if you had children of your own, you'd know how funny that is. Will you please lock this up and put the key out of reach?
Sister woman, nobody's plotting the destruction of your kitties. Brick and I still have our special archer's license. We're going deer hunting on Moon Lake as soon as the season starts. I love to run with dogs through chilly woods, run, leap over obstructions.
How's the injured ankle, Brick?
Oh, it doesn't hurt. Just itches.
Oh my, Brick. You should have been downstairs after supper. Kiddies put on a show. Polly played piano, Buster and Sonny drums, and then they turned out the lights and Dixie and Trixie performed a toe dance in a fair costume with sparkles. Big Daddy just beamed. He just beamed.
Oh, I bet. It breaks my heart that we missed it. But May, why'd you give dogs names to all your kitties?
Dogs' names.
Dixie, Trixie, Buster, Sonny, Polly. Sounds like 4 dogs in a pet. And an act in a circus.
Maggie, why are you so catty?
'Cause I'm a cat. But why can't you take a joke, sister woman?
Nothing pleases me more than a joke that's funny. You know the real names of our kitties. Buster's real name is Robert. Sonny's real name is Saunders. Trixie's real name is Marlene. And Dixie's intermission is over.
I wonder what Dixie's real name is.
Maggie, being catty doesn't help things any.
I know. Why am I so catty? 'Cause I'm consumed with envy and eaten up with longing. Brick, I've laid out your beautiful Shantung silk suit from Rome, and one of your monogrammed silk shirts. I'll put your cufflinks in it, those lovely star sapphires I got for you used to wear so rarely.
I can't get trousers on over this damn plaster cast.
Yes, you can. I'll help you.
I'm not gonna get dressed, Maggie.
Will you just put on a pair of white silk pajamas?
Yes, I'll do that, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't mention it.
Oh, Brick. How long does it have to go on? This punishment? Haven't I done time enough? Haven't I served my time? Can't I apply for a pardon?
Maggie, you're spoiling my liquor. Lately, your voice always sounds like you've been running upstairs to warn somebody that the house was on fire.
Well, no wonder. You know what I feel like, Brick? I feel all the time like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Whoa, title drop.
Title drop.
Then jump off the roof, jump off it. Cats can jump off roofs and land on their 4 feet uninjured.
Oh, yes.
Do it then. For God's sake, do it.
Do what?
Take a lover.
I can't see a man but you. Even with my eyes closed, I just see you. Why don't you get ugly, Brick? Why don't you please get fat or ugly or something so I could stand it? The concert is still going on. Bravo, Nonix, bravo.
What did you lock the door for?
To give us a little privacy for a while.
You know better, Maggie.
No, I don't know better.
Don't make a fool of yourself.
I don't mind making a fool of myself over you.
Ah, man, Maggie. I feel embarrassed for you.
Feel embarrassed? But don't continue my torture. I can't live on and on under these circumstances.
You agreed to
I know, but...
accept that condition.
I can't.
Let go.
He breaks away from her and seizes the small boudoir chair and raises it like a lion tamer facing a big circus cat. Count 5. She stares at him with her fist pressed to her mouth, then bursts into a shrill, almost hysterical laughter. He remains grave for a moment, then grins and puts the chair down. Big Mama calls through this closed door. Son? Son? Son?
What is it, Big Mama?
Son, we just got the most wonderful news about Big Daddy. I just had to run up and tell you right this. What's this door doing locked for? You all think there's robbers in the house?
Big Mama, Brick is dressed and he's not dressed yet.
That's all right. It won't be the first time I seen Brick not dressed. Come on, open this door.
Big Mama?
Big Mama appears through the opposite gallery doors behind Margaret, huffing and puffing like an old bulldog. She's a short, stout woman. Her 60 years and 170 pounds have left her somewhat breathless most of the time. She's always tensed like a boxer, or rather a Japanese wrestler. Her family was maybe a little superior to Big Daddy's, but not much. She wears a black or silver lace dress at least $500,000 in flashy gems. She is very sincere. Here, I come through Gooper and May's gallery door. Where's Brick? Brick! Hurry on out here, son. I just have a second. I wanted to give you news about Big Daddy. I hate locked doors in a house.
I've noticed you do, Big Mama, but people have got to have some moments of privacy, don't they?
No, ma'am, not in my house. What you took your dress off for? I thought that little lace dress was so sweet on you, honey.
I thought it looked sweet on me too, but one of my cute little table partners used it for a napkin, so...
What?
You know, Big Mama, May and Goop was so touchy about those children. Thanks, Big Mama. That you just don't dare suggest there's any room for improvement in there.
Brick, hurry out. Shoot, Maggie, you just don't like children.
I do so like children. Adore them. Well, brought up.
Well, why don't you have some and bring them up well then, instead of all that time picking on Goopers and Mays? Hey, Big Mama, Betsy and Hugh got to go, waiting to tell you goodbye. Tell them to hold their horses. I'll be right down in a jiffy. Son, can you hear me in there? We just got the full report from the laboratory at Usher Clinic. Completely negative, son. Everything negative, right on down the line. Nothing at all's wrong with him but some little functional thing called a spastic colon. Can you hear me, son?
He can hear you, Big Mama.
Then why don't he say something? God almighty, a piece of news like that should make him shout. Made me shout, I can tell you. I shouted and sobbed and fell right down on my knees. Look, see the bruises where I hit my kneecaps? Took both doctors to haul me back to my feet. Big Daddy was furious with me, but ain't that just wonderful news? After all the anxiety we've been through to get a report like that on Big Daddy's birthday, Big Daddy's tried to hide how much of a load that news took off his mind, but didn't fool me. He was mighty close to crying about it himself. Hold those people down there. Don't let them go. Now, get dressed. We're all coming up to this room for Big Daddy's birthday party because of your ankle. How's his ankle, Maggie?
Well, he broke it, Big Mama.
I know he broke it. I mean, does it hurt him much still?
I'm afraid I can't give you that information, Big Mama. You'll have to ask Brick if it hurts much still or not.
It's Memphis, Miss Polly. It's Miss Sally at Memphis. All right, Suki. Hello? Miss Sally? How are you, Miss Sally? Yes, well, I was just going to call you about it. Shoot. Miss Sally, don't ever call me from the gay-ass lobby. Took too much tacos on in that hotel lobby. No wonder you can't hear me. Now listen, Miss Sally, there's nothing serious wrong with Big Daddy. We just got the report just now. There's nothing wrong but a thing called a spastic colon. Maggie, come on out here and talk to that fool on the phone. I'm shouted breathless.
Miss Sally, This is Brick's wife, Maggie. So nice to hear your voice. Can you hear mine? Well, good. Big Mama just wanted you to know that they've got the report from the Oaks Nook Clinic, and what Big Daddy has is a spastic colon. Yes, spastic colon, Miss Sally. That's right, Miss Spastic colon. Goodbye, Miss Sally. Hope I'll see you real soon. She heard me perfectly. I've discovered with deaf people the thing to do is not shout at them, but just enunciate clearly. My rich Aunt Cornelia was deaf as a dead, but I could make her hear me just by saying each word slowly, distinctly, close to her ear. I read her the commercial appeal every night, read her the classified ads in it even. She never missed a word of it. But was she a mean old thing? Know what I got when she died? Unexpected subscriptions to 5 magazines and the Book of the Month Club and a library full of every little book ever written. All else went to her hellcat of a sister, meaner than she was even.
Miss Sally sure is a case. Big Daddy says she's always got her hand out for something. He's not mistaken. That poor old thing always has her hand out for something. I don't think Big Daddy gives her as much as he should. I'm coming! He starts out at the hall door, turns and jerks a forefinger first towards the bathroom door, then towards liquor cabinet, meaning has Brick been drinking. Margaret pretends not to understand, cocks her head and raises her brows as if the pantomimic performance has completely mystified her. Big Mama rushes back to Margaret. Shoo! Stop playing so dumb. I mean, has he been drinking that stuff much yet?
Oh, I think he had a highball after supper.
Don't laugh about it. Some single men stop drinking when they get married and others start. Brick never touched liquor before he...
That's not fair.
Fair, not fair. I want to ask you a question. One question. Do you make Brick happy in bed?
Why don't you ask if he makes me happy in bed?
Because I know that...
It works both ways.
Something's not right. You're childless and my son drinks. When a marriage goes on the rocks are there, right there.
That's not fair.
Margaret is alone, completely alone, and she feels it. She draws in, hunches her shoulders, raises her arms with fist clenched, shuts her eyes tight as a child about to be stabbed with a vaccination needle. When she opens her eyes again, what she sees is the long oval mirror, and she rushes straight to it, stares into it with a grimace, and says, "Who are you?" Then she crouches a little and answers herself in a different voice, which is high, thin, mocking.
I am Maggie the cat.
Straightens quickly as the bathroom door opens little, and Brick calls out to her.
Has Big Mama gone?
Maggie the cat. She's gone.
He opens the bathroom door and hobbles out, with his liquor glass now empty, straight to the liquor cabinet. He is whistling softly. Margaret's head pivots on her long, slender neck to watch him. She raises a hand uncertainly to the base of her throat, as if it was difficult for her to swallow before she speaks.
You know, sex left didn't just peter out in the usual way. It was cut off short long before the natural time for it to, when it's going to revive again, just as sudden as that. I'm confident of it. That's what I'm keeping myself attractive for. For the time when you'll see me again like other men see me. Yes, like other men see me. They still see me, Brick, and they like what they see. Some of them would give their... Look, Brick. How high my body stays on me. Nothing is fallen on me, not a fraction.
Her voice is soft and trembling, a pleading child's. At this moment, as he turns to glance at her, a look which is like a player passing a ball to another player. Third down and goal to go. She has to capture the audience in a grip so tight that she can hold it till the first intermission without any lapse of attention.
Other men still want me. My face looks strange sometimes, but I've kept my figure as well as you've kept yours, and men admire it. I still turn heads in the street. Why, last week in Memphis, everywhere that I went, men's eyes burnt holes in my clothes at the country club and in restaurants and department stores. There wasn't a man I went or walked by that didn't just eat me up with his eyes and turn around when I passed him and looked back at me. What? Alice's party for her New York cousins, the best-looking man in the crowd, followed me upstairs and tried to force his way in the powder room with me. followed me to the door and tried to force his way in.
Why didn't you let him, Maggie?
Because I'm not that common, for one thing. Not that I wasn't almost tempted to. You'd like to know who it was? It was Sonny Boy Maxwell, that's who.
Oh yeah, Sonny Boy Maxwell. He was a good end runner, but had a little injury to his back and had to quit.
He has no injury now and has no wife and still has a leg for me.
See no reason to lock him out of a powder room in that case.
Have someone catch me at it? I'm not that stupid. Oh, I might sometimes cheat on you with someone, since you're so insultingly eager to have me do it. If I do, you can be damn sure it will be a time and place and a time where no one but me and the man could possibly know. Because I'm not going to give you any excuse to divorce me for being unfaithful or anything else.
Maggie, I wouldn't divorce you for being unfaithful or anything else. Don't you know that? Hell, I'd be relieved to know you found yourself a lover.
Well, I'm taking no chances. No, I'd rather stay on this hot tin roof.
A hot tin roof's an uncomfortable place to stay on.
Yeah, but I can stay on it just as long as I have to.
You could leave me, Maggie.
Don't want to and will not! Besides, if I did, you don't have a cent to pay for it, but what you get from Big Daddy, and he's dying of cancer.
Big Mama just said he wasn't, that the report was okay.
That's what she thinks because she got the same story that they gave Big Daddy and was just as taken in by it as he was, poor things. But tonight they're going to tell her the truth about it. When Big Daddy goes to bed, they're going to tell her that he is dying of cancer. It's malignant and it's terminal.
Does Big Daddy know it?
How do they ever know it? Nobody says, you're dying. You have to fool them. They have to fool themselves.
Why?
Why? Because human beings dream of life everlasting. That's the reason. But most of them want it on earth and not in heaven.
Huh.
Well, that's how it is anyhow. Where did I put down my cigarette? I don't want to burn up the home place. At least not with me and Gooper and there are 5 monsters in it. So this is Big Daddy's last birthday. May and Gooper, they know it. Oh, they know it. Alright. They got the first information from the Oxnard Clinic. That's why they're rushed down here with their no-neck monsters. Because, do you know something? Big Daddy's made no will. Big Daddy's never made out any will in his life, and so this campaign's afoot to impress him, forcibly as possible, with the fact that you drink and I've borne no children. You know, I'm fond of Big Daddy. I am generally fond of that old man, I really am, you know.
Yes, I know you are.
I've always sort of admired him in spite of his coarseness, so his four-letter words and so forth. Because Big Daddy's what he is, and he makes no bones about it. He hasn't turned gentleman farmer. He's still a Mississippi redneck, and as much of a redneck as he must have been when he was just overseer here on the old Jack Straw on Peter O'Kello place. But he got hold of it and built it into the biggest and finest plantation in the Delta. I've always liked Big Daddy. Well, this is Big Daddy's last birthday. I'm sorry about it, but I'm facing facts. It takes money to take care of a drinker, and that's the office that I've been elected to lately.
Oh, you don't have to take care of me.
Yes, I do. 2 people in the same boat have got to take care of each other. At least you want money to buy more Echo Spring when this supply is exhausted, or will you be satisfied with a 10-cent beer? Me and Gooper are planning to freeze aside of Baghdad's estate because you drink and I'm childless, but we can defeat that plan. We're going to defeat that plan. Brick, I've been so goddamn disgustingly poor all my life. That's the truth, Brick.
I'm not saying it isn't.
I've had to suck up to people I couldn't stand because they had money and I was poor as Job's turkey. You don't know what that's like? Well, I'll tell you, it's like you would feel 1,000 miles away from Echo Spring and had to get back to it on that broken ankle. Without a crutch. That's how it feels to be as poor as Job's turkey and have to suck up to relatives that you hated because they had money and all you had was a bunch of hand-me-down clothes and a few old moldy 3% government bonds. My daddy loved his liquor. He fell in love with his liquor the way you fell in love with Echo Spring, and poor mama, having to maintain some semblance of social position to keep appearances up on an income of $150 a month on those old government bonds. When I came out the year that I made my debut, I had just 2 evening dresses. One mother made me from one pattern in Vogue, the other hand-me-down from a snotty rich cousin I hated. The dress I married you in was my grandmother's wedding gown. So that's why I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Hiya, Mr. Brick. How you feeling?
Raises liquor glass.
Says if that answered the question.
You can be young without money, but you can't be old without it. You've got to be old with money, because to be old without it is just too awful. You've got to be one or the other. Either young or with money. You can't be old and without it. That's the truth, Brick. Well, no, I'm dressed. I'm all dressed. There's nothing else for me to do. I'm dressed, all dressed. Nothing else for me to do. I know when I made my mistake. What am I? Oh, my bracelets. I've thought a whole lot about it, and now I know when I made my mistake. Yes, I made my mistake when I told the truth about that thing with Skipper. Never should have confessed it. A fatal error telling you about that thing with Skipper.
Maggie, shut up about Skipper. I mean it, Maggie. You gotta shut up about Skipper.
You ought to understand the Skipper and I.
You don't think I'm serious, Maggie? You're fooled by the fact that I'm saying this quiet. Look, Maggie, what you're doing is a dangerous thing to do. You're fooling with something that nobody ought to fool with.
This time I'm going to finish what I have to say to you. Skipper and I made love, if love you could call it, because it made both of us feel a little bit closer to you. You see, you son of a bitch. You ask too much of people, of me, of him, of all the unlucky poor damned sons of bitches that happen to love you. And there's a whole pack of them. Yes, there's a pack of them. Besides me and Skipper, you asked too goddamn much of people that loved you. You superior creature. You godlike being. And so we made love to each other to dream it was you, both of us. Yes. 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 Truth. Truth. What's so awful about it? I like it. I think the truth is... Yeah, I shouldn't have told you.
It was Skipper that told me about it, not you, Maggie.
I told you.
After he told me.
What does matter who?
Little girl! Hey, little girl!
What, Uncle Brick?
Tell the folks to come up. Bring everybody upstairs.
I can't stop myself. I'd go on telling you this in front of them all if I had to.
Little girl, go on, will you? Do what I told you. Call them.
Because it's got to be told, and you never let me. It was one of those beautiful, ideal things they tell about in the Greek legends. It couldn't be anything else, you being you. And that's what made it so sad. That's what made it so awful, because it was so love that never could be carried through to anything satisfying, or even talked about plainly. Brick, I tell you, you've got to believe me, Brick. I do understand all about it. I think it was noble. Can't you tell I'm sincere when I say I respect it? The only point that I make in this life has got to be allowed to continue, even after that dream of life was. Even after that dream is all over. Well, I remember when we double dated at college. Gladys Fitzgerald and I and you and Skipper. It was more like a date between you and Skipper. Gladys and I were just sort of tagging along as if it was necessary to chaperone you to make a good public impression.
Maggie, you want me to hit you with this crutch? Don't you know I could kill you with this crutch?
Good lord, man. Do you think I'd care if you did?
One man has one great good true thing in his life. One great good thing which is true. I have friendship with Skipper. You are naming it dirty.
I'm not naming it dirty, I'm naming it clean.
Not love with you, Maggie, but friendship with Skipper was that one great true thing, and you are naming it dirty.
Then you haven't been listening, not understood what I'm saying. I named so damn clean that I killed poor Skipper. You two had something that had to be kept on ice, yes. Incorruptible, yes. And death was only icebox, so you could keep it.
I married you, Maggie. Why would I marry you, Maggie, if I was...
Brick, don't blame me. Don't let me finish. I know, believe me, I know that it was only Skipper that harbored even any unconscious desire for anything not perfectly pure between you two. Now let me skip a little. You married me early that summer. We graduated out of Ole Miss and we are happy once we were blissful, yes. In heaven together every time that we left. But that fall you and Skipper turned down wonderful office jobs in order to keep on being football heroes, pro football heroes. You organized Dixie Star that fall, so you could keep on being teammates forever. But something was not right with it, me included. Between you, Skipper began hitting the bottle. You got a spinal injury. Couldn't play the Thanksgiving game in Chicago. Watched on TV from a traction bed in Toledo. I joined Skipper, but the Dixie Stars lost because poor Skipper was drunk. We drank together that night, all night in the bar of the Blackstone when cold air was coming up over the lake and we would come out drunk to take a dizzy look at it. I said, Skipper, stop loving my husband or tell him he's got to let you admit it to him. One way or another, he slapped me hard on the mouth. Then turned and ran without stopping once, I'm sure. On the way back into his room at the Blackstone, when I came to his room that night with a scratch like a little shadow mouse at the door, he made that pitiful, ineffectual attempt to prove that what I had said wasn't true.
Bang,
This is very
bang.
intense when you see it on stage.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is with... Yeah.
In this way, I destroyed him by telling him in truth that he in this world, which he was born and raised in, yours and his world, had told him could not be told. From then on, Skipper was nothing at all but a receptacle for the contracts who shot cock robbing I with my merciful.
Sweet.
Miss me. Sorry, I'm not trying to whitewash my behavior, but Christ, no, Brick, I'm not good. I don't know why people have to pretend to be good. Nobody's good. The rich or the well-to-do can't afford to respect moral patterns, conventional moral patterns, but I could never afford to. Yeah, but I'm honest. Give me credit for just that, will you please? Born poor, raised poor, expected to die poor unless I managed to get something I would have picked dad who leaves us when he dies of cancer. But Brick, Skipper's dead. I'm alive. Maggie the cat is alive. I am alive. I am alive.
A little girl, Dixie, bursts into the room wearing an Indian war bonnet and firing a cat pistol at Margaret and shouting, "Bang, bang, bang!" Laughter downstairs floats through the open ball door. Margaret has crouched gasping to bed at Child's entrance. She now rises and says with cool fury,
Little girl, your mother or someone should teach you to knock at a door before you come into the room. Otherwise, people might think that you lack good breeding.
Yeah. What is Uncle Brick doing on the floor?
I tried to kill your Aunt Maggie, but I failed, and I fail. Little girl, give me my crutch so I can get up off the floor.
Yes, give your uncle his crutch. He's crippled, honey. He broke his ankle last night jumping hurdles on the high school athletic field.
What were you jumping hurdles for, Uncle Brick?
Because I used to jump them, and people like to do what they used to do, even after they've stopped being able to do it.
That's right. That's your answer. Now go away, little girl. Stop! Stop that monster, you no-neck monster.
Jealous. You're just jealous because you can't have babies. Oh, yeah, we can skip that stage right.
You see, they gloat over us being childless, even in front of the 5 little no-neck monsters. Brick, I've been to a doctor in Memphis. Gynecologists have been completely examined, and there's no reason why we can't have a child whenever we want one. And this is my time by the counter to conceive. Are you listening to me? Are you? Are you listening to me?
Yes, yes, I hear you, Maggie. But how in hell on earth do you imagine that you're gonna have a child by a man that can't stand you?
That's a problem that I will have to work out. Here they come.